Hey guys, this is Brandon's Baseball Vlogs. Me and my friend Randy are going to do a sports interview about the WWE building up this match between Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, who returned, and about his attack on Kevin Owens, and about how he stood up for Sami Zayn and called out John Cena and called out Randy Orton, and talk about CM Punk calling out The Rock, calling out Travis Scott, calling out John Cena, and calling out Drew McIntyre, and about Damien Priest and Drew McIntyre, how they are going to build up that rivalry at WrestleMania. And we're going to talk about the Giancarlo Stanton injury, about how Stanton is dealing with this injury and how he's never won a World Series. He's a former NL MVP. He's an ALCS MVP for the Yankees in 2024. And how Giancarlo Stanton has dealt with so many injuries, but also how he has still played over 100 games for the last 4 years, and how surgery is the last possible thing that he could use to help him return. But also, my opinion is Giancarlo Stanton needs the surgery, because if he gets it now, he will be ready possibly by next year. And it stinks that Stanton is injured and hasn't played a single game in spring training. But honestly, I think Giancarlo Stanton needs the surgery now, just because get the surgery done now so you can be ready for 2026. And also just be a good leader and be a good role model. He's already done amazing. He's almost at 500 home runs. And how Giancarlo Stanton said, by quote, "I will do anything as possible to get back on this team." And honestly, it's kind of a really good inspiration that Stanton is not giving up. And here's my friend Randy to talk about all of this, and we're going to talk about everything. Here's my friend Randy.
What's up, party people?
Randy, what do you think about Giancarlo Stanton, how he's a former NL MVP for the Marlins and has many Marlins records, and how he's almost at 500 home runs in his career? He needs 52 to get to 500, and how he's dealing with tennis elbows and both high-grade pain in his elbow, so where he could possibly need season-ending surgery, which is the last case scenario that Stanton could need, and that will end his season, and he hasn't played a single game in spring training, and how he said, "I will do anything as possible to get back on this team, and I effing hate this."
So, it's kind of crazy how he has injuries on both elbows, which is...
And he dealt with it last year, but it wasn't as bad at all.
And then it got worse this year. So, if you look at it, it's like, damn, it's crazy, because, like, I never expect a player to get injuries on both his elbows, which is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's obviously, like, he broke so many obstacles from playing with the Marlins and multiple different teams. But the main obstacle he has to make a comeback on is recovering and be healthy again.
Yeah. And the only thing he's never done in his career is win a World Series.
So that's the next record he has to win, is win a World Series.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think of this? Stanton said, by quote, "I will do anything as possible to get back on this team. I hate this feeling."
Wish I could understand that feeling, because I dealt with that, where I was playing a sport and I couldn't play on the big court, and it was a suck feeling, because, like, being injured is not fun.
Mm-hmm. And
it's like...
Yeah.
It's like getting injured is like the worst feeling of it all, because, like, I was playing flag football and I remembered one of my friends thought it was tackle football. He was like, "What the heck is this flags? So are we supposed to tackle or no?" And I guess he didn't get the memo, and then I was playing quarterback in football and he tackled me and fractured my ribs.
Wow,
that's
insane.
What happens.
That's insane. And what do you think of this? Stanton is a former NL MVP for the National League and for the Marlins. Has so many records, broke under his name in the Marlins history. And he had over 59 home runs, 132 runs batted in 2017 for the Marlins. And he's a two-time NL home run leader. He's a home run derby champion, and he's a 5-time All-Star. He helped Team USA in the World Baseball Classic win the World Baseball Classic championship, and he also is a 2-time NL Hank Aaron Award winner, and he was traded from the Marlins after his MVP season to the New York Yankees, and how he has had some good seasons and dealt with injuries, but he's also been, but once it hits October baseball for the postseason, it's like Stanton's a monster. He hits so many home runs and gets the clutchest hits in postseason.
So the coolest thing I want to say about this is
About Giancarlo.
Yes, the thing is, he may be out for injury, but what if he did how Aaron Rodgers did for the Jets, came back so fast from Achilles tendon tear.
Yeah.
After he gets to both elbow surgeries, which he probably has to do a lot of physical therapy. But I've done physical therapy, so I know how it's like. So depending on the surgeries, the injury, he could be back sooner than later.
That's true.
So I don't think he's going to have an ending career season unless he follows the orders of the doctors. Take it easy. Don't go too extra. Don't do this. Don't do that. If he does that, he may come back a bit earlier.
That's true. And what do you think of Giancarlo Stanton getting traded over to the New York Yankees after his NL MVP season with the Marlins, and has done okay and done very well, and how he's transformed from a cocky player to a veteran leader, and how Aaron Judge has helped him become a better leader on the Yankees and in general, and being a team player?
So he's done a lot for the National League and the American League, but the only thing he hasn't done is won a World Series.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is, what if he wins a World Series with the Yankees and then returns to the Marlins and then wins a World Series with the Marlins? That would be an amazing accomplishment.
True. It'd be cool. And what do you think of the fans keep booing him for? I understand playing in New York is when you struggle, they'll boo you. But every time he gets injured, they keep booing and saying, trade him, he stinks. But literally, what do you think of this? That the fans keep saying that about Stanton, but it's like, you got to understand, it's not his fault he keeps getting injured, but also you got to admit, these guys weigh so much and they're that tall and they play baseball, they will get injured.
Yeah, so for his height, for being
he's
a baseball
6'6", 280 pounds.
Yeah, so his height is really not meant to play baseball. It's more likely to play for football or basketball.
And in high school, he played football, baseball, lacrosse, and soccer. That's what Stanton did in high school. He played football.
Yeah, so obviously, he's taking courage to not play other sports, but he chose baseball because he loves the game of baseball. Do I think the Yankee fans have the right to say, oh, he sucks, trade him? Okay, if he sucks, trade him. Why don't you take his position? Why don't you see how hard it is to do his job? What do you have? You think Major League Baseball is that easy to do?
It's not.
All right, buddy. Why don't you go in the field and try it out? It's not the same when you play with your friends in your fucking high school and your friends at the school and going to play Little League Baseball. It's not the same. Do you think Little League, minor league, college, whatever is easy? No, my friend, it's not.
And plus, what do you think of this? Giancarlo Stanton has become more of a team player where he says, it's not about me. I love the accomplishments, but I care about winning.
That's the thing. Like, if he cares about winning for the team that he's playing for your New York Yankees, you should give him the respect that he deserves.
And he has become a monster in the postseason. His first postseason in 2018, he had he had 4 home runs that year, and 15 RBIs, and then 2019 he had 4 home runs, which is in total 8, and then 2020 he had over 9 home runs in the postseason. 2021, 1 home run. And then, 2021, he had 0 home runs. Then 2022, he had 4 home runs. Then 2023, they missed the postseason, which was shocking. And then, because the Yankees had always made the postseason except for 2023. Then last year, he had 7 home runs, 20 RBIs, and he broke the history record in the Yankees franchise history for the most home runs by a power hitter in the postseason, passing Babe Ruth, the great Bambino, and passing Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, and how Stanton has become the greatest postseason hitter right now.
So, this is... Okay, so you know how you wanted to take me to Yankee Stadium, right?
Yes.
This is the real reason why I don't go to Yankees games, unless it's in the Citi Field.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is my main reason. Like what we're talking about in the sports interview, right?
Yeah.
Because they're saying that Stanton should be traded, right? They should get rid of him, right?
And now fans are saying he is one of the best postseason hitters. He's the greatest. And what do you think of all the stats I told you?
Yeah, but this is what I mean. I respect the Yankees, like, franchise and everything, but I don't respect certain fans.
Mm-hmm.
They criticize everything about, like, oh, this player sucks. This player sucks. Okay. You suck because you don't know what the fuck they're dealing with. And sorry for my language.
It's okay.
That's my only curse I'm saying. If you think his job is that easy, get your fat ass out of the stands, go on the field, say, hey, let me take this spot. I can prove what I can do better than him. I bet you goddamn Yankee fan, you cannot do better than him. I bet you can't hit a home run over the freaking wall like he can.
And it's like every time he hits it, it's a home run. And what do you think of him passing Babe Ruth and Reggie Jackson?
Dude, that is amazing.
And what do you think of Stanton in general?
Reggie Jackson? Oh my God. So we were just talking about this with me and you and Will, about the whole Red Sox-Yankee thing, okay?
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier, about what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm saying this is a good reason why that he broke the records of Reggie Jackson and Babe Ruth. Because mainly Babe Ruth was... This is why I have total respect for Yankees for having the bust and glory to do this. By snatching a former Red Sox player and making him to an outstanding world record player in the American League, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the next big thing, Stanton, to fucking break the records of Babe Ruth, the legend himself. Former Red Sox, former Yankee. Like, that is like... This is why I'm saying you can never know what is ever going to happen in Major League Baseball. It's something you never expected in life.
That's true. And the last part about Stanton is he's a great leader. He's become a better leader because of Stanton. And because Stanton's become a better leader because of Judge, Sabathia, who just recently got in the Hall of Fame, Brett Gardner, and all of them.
Because, like, I feel like if Stanton keeps on walking in the shadow of Judge, he will be an outstanding player. Like, he'll be outstanding just like Judge. I'm not even going to lie.
And Stanton, if he gets to 500 home runs in his career, he's definitely getting into the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to win a World Series to be a Hall of Famer.
That's true.
You just got to break records. Like, that's the same thing with any sport. You don't have to be a Hall of Famer just because you become a freaking Hall of Famer. Like, maybe depending on where the sport is, maybe, but not always.
Yeah. Now, this segment is about the player Garrett Cole injury, the DJ LeMahieu injury, and these other players' injuries, and the expectations for the players. And my opinion is, it stinks that Garrett Cole a year ago had to deal with this injury with his pitching elbow, and now he's getting an MRI done again on his pitching elbow because he has to deal with the injury of his elbow that he throws with. It stinks because literally it's like, come on, it's like Garrett Cole already dealt with that last year, and now he has to deal with it again. And because of that, my opinion is Garrett Cole deserves to have another fully healthy season and try to win the Cy Young. And my opinion is it stinks that literally Garrett Cole has to deal with the injury. And because of that, I think it really stinks that literally Garrett Cole has to deal with it. And the DJ LeMahieu injury, it stinks because he's one of our best players. And I understand players think he should retire, but DJ LeMahieu is honestly one of the best players we have. And hearing that Adolis Garcia, the ALCS MVP from the Texas Rangers, World Series champion Texas Rangers, had a mild oblique strain injury, but is expected to be ready for opening day. When I heard that, I was like, wow, he's getting ahead of this. He's really going to be ready. In my head, it's like, wow. And then hearing Jake Burger, this young player, Jake Burger, for the Texas Rangers, is already dealing with so much. His 4-year-old daughter had open heart surgery and is now being able to play and check on his daughter and being there. And his daughter won't be able to see him play an opening day in a different stadium, but will be able to see him play in opening day for the World Series champion Texas Rangers from 2023 at Globe Life Field. And my opinion is it sucks that his daughter had that surgery, but I'm sending my prayers, and I know Randy's sending his prayers to Jake Burger and his daughter who had the open heart surgery. And I'm hoping she will make a full recovery. That's what I've heard. But literally, it stinks that she already dealt with that. And we're going to talk about the players' expectations, like Ohtani, who made history last year with 54 home runs, 59 stolen bases, and how he created the 50-50 club, and how he has high expectations, and about Aaron Judge having high expectations, Mike Trout having high expectations of coming back from injury and having MVP seasons. And me and Randy are going to discuss that right now. Randy, what do you think of what I said about the Adolis Garcia being expected to be ready for opening day despite that mild oblique injury and being ahead of it?
It's insane. Like, a lot of players are getting injured this whole season. Like,
right before it begins.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's madness.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think of him being expected to be ready?
If he's expected to be ready, that's a good thing, because I know he's dying to freaking play again.
Yeah. And what do you think of Jake Burger from the Texas Rangers dealing with playing and his 4-year-old daughter getting open heart surgery and is now making a full recovery, but won't be able to see her dad play in a different stadium on opening day, but will be able to see her dad play in the home ballpark?
It's sad that she won't be able to see him play in a different, stadium, but in the home ballpark. It's a hard thing to see that. And I pray for that child, because my child, let me stroke your hair and guide you from this light.
And what do you think of Jake Burger dealing with his daughter recovering from open heart surgery and being able to play?
It's actually, a child going through open heart surgery is like the most scariest thing. Like, if that was my kid, I would say I would just take time off from my job, because I'm like, hey, if that was my daughter, that was my kid, I'd say, I'm fucking going to work. I'm staying near my daughter. my child, my best friend. Like, just because like that's your kid, it doesn't mean that your kid can't be your best friend. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the fact you brought that child to this earth. You raised that child. You taught them things in life. I know the man above is guiding that child from recovering so fast.
And what do you think of it? His daughter and his wife told him, go play baseball. It's all right. I'm going to make this full recovery for you, Dad. And he wanted to stay with her.
That means he's a real freaking father. If he says he wanted to stay with his daughter, that's a real man.
And what do you think of his daughter and his wife telling him, go play, Dad?
That means she has faith in her life that the man above will guide her to keep her alive.
And what do you think of this? The Garrett Cole news, 1 year ago today, he already had an MRI on his pitching elbow. He didn't need surgery, and he made a full recovery, and he came back and did well for the Yankees last year. And now he's getting an MRI done again on his pitching elbow, again, because of soreness.
My child, let me heal your elbow.
What do you think? And what do you think of Garrett Cole, though?
Garrett Cole, I mean, I don't think I ever saw him play, and I don't think I see his injury, but I guess I have to go on YouTube and look up his injury.
What do you think of it that 1 year ago he had to deal with the same injury, and now he's dealing with the same injury again, but with another MRI on his same pitching elbow? What's your thought on that?
Insane. So insane.
And lady, that he came back from it last year,
insane.
And now he has to deal with it all over again.
That's insane. He came back from it, and then he has to go back and deal with it again. That's crazy.
And what do you think of the expectations for Shohei? He's the first player ever to create the 50-50 club, which is 50 home runs, 59 stolen bases, and the first player ever in history to do that. And he had over 199 hits last year. And he had over 59 stolen bases, 54 home runs, and a .320 batting average. And Shohei Ohtani is one of the best players in baseball. Do you think Shohei has high expectations raised for him for 2025 as a pitcher now and as a hitter? Again.
To be honest, like, every team after the World Series, they don't really go up to the expectations.
And do you think Ohtani has high expectations after his first great season with the Dodgers?
No, actually, I feel like after they won the World Series last year, they're not going to make it to the playoffs this year.
You don't think so?
No.
But do you think Ohtani will have an okay season, though?
Not really.
And do you think the expectations for Aaron Judge and the Yankees are high because they went to the World Series, like Judge said, we got to that dance, but we didn't finish it?
So if he says we got to that dance, we didn't finish it. Okay, let's say my remarks that I said about the Dodgers not making it to the World Series again this new season, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you know how, like, the Eagles and Chiefs had a rematch from the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Let's say the Dodgers and Yankees get a rematch.
I remember when the last time that happened.
Let's say how I predicted this on the Sports video about the Eagles and Chiefs, where I said the Eagles are going to dog walk, the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Let's say my prediction is that the Yankees are going to go back to the World Series, have a rematch with the Dodgers, and dog walk, the Dodgers behind.
Yeah. And
let's say that's my prediction.
Do you think Aaron Judge does have high expectations for himself because he just had his first kid, Rose Judge, a new daughter, his first ever kid, and has high expectations because he's a new dad and after having another MVP season and winning the MVP?
I mean, I don't think it's going to stop him from doing his game for love of baseball, to be honest.
And he said he wants to be a great dad and still play for her and show her that she can do whatever she wants to do with herself and her life while playing the game, and wants her to see him be successful as a player.
So he's a very successful man. He's a very intelligent man. He's a very kind man.
Mm-hmm.
So if he decides to stay doing baseball and take care of his kid, Aaron Judge, you got my respect, my friend.
And what do you think of this? Mike Trout had 10 home runs last year, but then tore his meniscus in his knee again. Had surgery, ended his season last year, and now he's coming back from injury. Do you think there are high expectations for Mike Trout?
Okay, so how many seasons does he have left before he retires?
He's in his 30s, but he's still one of the best players in baseball. He averages over 30, 40 home runs every season, but he's dealt with injuries, but he's still able to come back and play.
Okay, so here's
and he never gives up like Stanton.
Okay, here's my ideal about this. So let's say if my prediction about the Yankees and Dodgers rematch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Say it's Angels and whoever.
Mm-hmm. Angels and Dodgers.
All he has to do.
Yeah.
All they have to do is make a World Series win.
True. And what do you think of this? Mike Trout he's been in the league since 2011. No, since 2011. And he's been one of the best players in baseball. He's a 3-time AL MVP. And he has most of the Angels records and most of baseball records. He's one of the best players in baseball. And he's had almost 40 home runs every single season, except for some injuries. And he's dealt with 30 home runs. And he's still one of the best contact and power hitters in baseball. And Mike Trout is one of the best players in baseball and has dominated in the outfield, and now is moving over to right field and getting advice from former players like Torrey Hunter. And he's getting advice from other players to improve his defense in right field. And he's moving from center to right field to help his team win.
That's not bad.
And what do you have to say all about that, about Mike Trout?
That takes courage, because if you're just playing center for the longest time and you haven't played left or right, that's courage.
And he's played a little bit of right, but hasn't played full time. But he said he's going to do it to help the team win. And what do you think of this? The players that are coming back from injury from other teams.
It's kind of crazy how many players are injured right now on different teams at this moment.
Yeah. My reaction to Randy Orton coming back to face Kevin Owens. My opinion is I love Randy Orton because he is one of my favorite role models in WWE, just like John Cena. And when I saw him return to attack Kevin Owens after Kevin Owens was about to do an illegal move on Sami Zayn onto the concrete, when I saw that about to happen and when Randy Orton's music hit, I was like, dang, he's returning. He's actually back. And when I saw him come in and start staring down Kevin Owens, I was like, oh my God, he's back. He's about to go after Kevin Owens. And then when he attacked him, I was like, thank God, he RKO'd him. And when he did it, I was like, wow, he actually did it. And I honestly think they're building Orton versus Owens at WrestleMania. Me and my friend Randy are going to talk about it. And also, my opinion on literally CM Punk calling out John Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott, and Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre, and also about how John Cena turned heel in his final season to do whatever he can to win that number 17. I understand that. And literally, I honestly think we're going to get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I honestly see that happening. And honestly, I think they're going to build Drew McIntyre versus Damien Priest at WrestleMania. Their rivalry is doing great. And honestly, it's really good. I see it happening. And literally, John Cena turning heel, I still can't believe it. It's shocking, but also it's not shocking. And honestly, I think John Cena is going to win. And how we're going to see Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. And my friend Randy is going to talk about all of this. Randy, what do you think of it? Randy Orton returning to attack Kevin Owens and calling out John Cena, CM Punk, and Kevin Owens, and how we may get Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton in WrestleMania, Damien Priest versus Drew McIntyre, Punk versus Rollins versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and about John Cena turning heel against Cody Rhodes.
So, I like the fact that, okay, so I don't think the whole neck injury thing with when Kevin Owens power drived
Randy Orton
was a real thing for injury cause. I feel like they did that so they could put that as a storyline. So, because that's what WWE does.
That's true.
It's entertainment. So, you remember okay, so this is a topic where it's hard for me to talk about, where Bray Wyatt, okay,
yeah,
rest in peace to you, Wyndham Rotunda. So his brother Bo Dallas, aka Tyler, they pushed him off because they were gonna wait until Bray Wyatt returned from his injury or his illness or something he was out for, and now they're doing a storyline with Bray Wyatt's brother, Taylor, which is Bo Dallas, as Uncle Howdy with the Wyatt Six. So, it's really amazing that they're keeping Bray's image in the storyline that he wanted, because that was the whole storyline. They were going to have a Wyatt Six with Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, and have people join their faction. But Bray Wyatt left so soon. But that's what they did. That's what they're doing with Randy Orton. So they did the pile driver scheme, so they can start a storyline based on for Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, which that's really cool.
Do you think we're going to get Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania?
Yes, that would be a good matchup, because here's the thing: that whole Crown Jewel match with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens was kind of a BS, because they didn't really have an actual match, because they just brawled, and then they just called the match saying this is a double DQ, and then they just had a brawl, and then that's why they did that at Crown Jewel, when Liv Morgan was the very first Crown Jewel Women's Champion, and Cody Rhodes was the first Crown Jewel Men's Champion. So
true.
So that's why they did that, because the whole storyline between Kevin Owens and Cody and Randy is because they want to have a 3-person in it, so they can have that storyline built. Because if they didn't have Cody join that freaking storyline, where Cody had to defend his title in a ladder match at Royal Rumble for the Undisputed Championship, they have a storyline based on Kevin. That's where the ties are toed. So when I made that prediction, okay, Randy Orton was going to return at Royal Rumble and cost Kevin the match, because that's what goes in my head. Because I'm like, okay, they're building a storyline, because Randy Orton's been out for a while, so he's probably going to return at Royal Rumble and cost Kevin the match.
And what did you think of when he returned and saved Sami Zayn?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think they're ever going to make Kevin Owens power drive or do something to a human being on the concrete, because that would definitely kill the man. So
that's true.
So that was part of the storyline. He's going to be get distracted when he comes out. But I thought he was going to do that where at the Royal Rumble, if Cody Rhodes wins the match, I thought so Kevin Owens is going to cheap shot and attack Cody Rhodes behind his back, and then here comes Randy Orton to save the day for Cody Rhodes, and then RKO's Kevin Owens.
And what did you think of the look that Randy Orton gave to Kevin Owens?
Oh, I love the fact when Kevin Owens got RKO'd, and then he gave the look, and he was going to punch him in the fucking head. That was... They should have let him just kick him in the skull to get payback.
Yeah, and what did you think of when Randy Orton called out Kevin Owens on SmackDown and then called out John Cena?
Well, that's the thing. The reason why Randy Orton called out John Cena is because he took the cheap way out, which I never thought John Cena would take the easy way out just to, like... No, because I understand that Seth Rollins and CM Punk story is not over.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow night, their last match together, so they can finish up whatever they have, is going to be in a steel cage on Monday Night Raw in Madison Square Garden.
And do you think Roman Reigns is going to come out and cost either one the match?
So I don't think he's going to CM Punk the match because he tried to help. CM Punk tried to help.
Yeah. And do you think he's going to cost Seth Rollins the match?
I feel like maybe he'll cost Seth the match.
And what did you think of Randy Orton calling out Kevin Owens?
Well, that's the thing, because Kevin Owens did put him out of the storyline quite a bit, and then he had to turn at freaking Elimination Chamber after his match.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was a better call he called out Randy Orton called out John Cena, because like Randy Orton knew John Cena for a long time because they had so many feuds in the past.
Do you think maybe John Cena's last match in December will be John Cena versus the Viper, Randy Orton?
Okay, so here's my honest opinion about this, and this is not a fact. This is my opinion. So I think, so what if Kevin Owens and Randy Orton's match was like secretly a number one contender match to face John Cena after he beats Cody Rhodes, right?
That'd be cool.
So my honest opinion, if that actually happens, that would be so cool because I don't think that ever happened. When I went to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans in the Mercedes Dome, there was that did happen, but it was Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. Whoever wins that match, they go into a triple threat match against Randy Orton and Batista at the main event of WrestleMania. But the only thing that never happened was a secretive match saying oh, by the way, they don't say oh, by the way, if you know that match wasn't a normal match, it was a number contender for the main event after the main event of WrestleMania. Whoever wins that,
True.
So that would be kind of cool if they did that after whoever wins. But honestly, I if that doesn't happen, what my prediction is that if John Cena wins the World Championship for the 17th time, I feel like he's going to hold it for a whole month, and then he's definitely going to drop it back to Cody Rhodes because, I feel like Cody Rhodes will, put John over just to become a 17-time world champion to beat the record of Ric Flair. Woo! And then Charlotte Flair, you're never going to be like your father, so don't even act like your daddy. You're nothing like him.
Mm-hmm.
But, I feel like John Cena is the main person to beat that record.
And what do you think of CM Punk calling out John Cena, calling out Drew McIntyre, calling out Seth Rollins, and calling out Logan Paul?
Well, Logan Paul is a whole different story. Screw you, Logan Paul. You should just keep on selling your goddamn prime. Love your prime. I wouldn't say he sucks as a wrestler.
He's good, but not as good.
He's good. I'm not even gonna lie. You don't no one understands the risks that these wrestlers are doing in the ring and putting their life on the line. So I can never say any wrestler sucks. If any of you people out there says a wrestler sucks, that's your honest opinion.
And I respect it.
I don't respect your opinion if you say a wrestler sucks because you cannot say that their job is easier than the job I do at my job. No job is easy. So until you walk
That's
into
true.
You can't say they suck at their job unless you walk in their shoes and see what they have to go through with their bodies day in and day out. So
yeah,
ever say someone sucks at their job because they're making money to entertain your fucking ass. So screw off.
And what do you think of the Punk calling out The Rock?
Okay, so I remembered at the Royal Rumble it was Rock versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship.
I remember that match.
Rock's gimmick, the final boss, epic. But
it's really cool.
It's cool. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's epic. That's another term for really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like how Roman Reigns as the powerhouse of the Shield, and then the big dog, and then the guy, like, he escalated as the tribal chief, and now the original tribal chief. So if you look at it, these wrestlers are going above and beyond with their gimmicks, of their personas, of their character.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at it, Bray Wyatt, aka Wyndham, and I'm talking about this completely, every gimmick that Bray Wyatt did, he did that on his own. He thought of it on his own. He had ideas of what he wanted to do in the ring, what he wanted his like storyline to be, whatever that gimmick was. So whatever Bray did, he inspired other wrestlers to do the same of their own gimmicks.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for Bray, he wouldn't change the ideas of what these wrestlers can do in their life in the ring and outside of the ring, like make themselves better. Like Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, acknowledge me. The final boss, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? And then like seeing Cena just like switch up and just turn heel, I kind of expected that because he hasn't done a heel run from like the last
a really long time.
Yeah, when he was the operation of Thugonomics, and he was like doing his rapper gimmick, World Life. Like that theme song was so epic, and I love that. Imagine that's what he changes his freaking theme song to, based on Thugonomics. That would be so epic if he does that.
Yeah, and what do you think of Cody Rhodes coming back on SmackDown and calling out John Cena?
Because that is like, okay, so
for his attack on him.
So if you look at it, he kind of explained. He basically explained it that him and John are basically friends in real life, and he's confused why that John Cena would switch and turn on him. Like,
yeah,
if you look at it, like, John is not jealous of anything of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
John Cena is the GOAT of WWE. Like,
that's true.
So is Roman. Roman's all okay. So you look at it. There's two goats of WWE: Roman and John and Bray Wyatt.
That's true.
John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Bray Wyatt are the goats of WWE. Because, like, if you look at it, John, Bray, and Roman, they sold so much freaking merchandise. Their merchandise went off the chart of selling.
That's true.
So if you look at it, like, John Cena has nothing to be jealous of Cody Rhodes. It's just based on the storyline.
And plus,
like,
Cody was like, come, get some.
So if you look at, like, John just wants to break the record of Ric Flair, because Ric Flair has been saying he wants John Cena to break the record of how many world titles that he's won. Like I always said, every record is made to be beaten. So
That's true.
So I have a feeling that this record is going to be beaten by WrestleMania, and then give it till, if that prediction that I have is correct, and then if it's not correct, then maybe John Cena will hold the title for a month or so, and then he's just going to pass the torch back to Cody or whoever he thinks deserves to hold that torch. And
want to say congrats to LA Knight on winning back his title.
Oh, definitely. Congrats to LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe, like, okay, so here's the thing. LA Knight was a former TNA wrestler. So I liked LA Knight when he was Eli Drake from TNA, which we can't say that in WWE, but, like, they just want to forget that. But, like, his gimmick from TNA is the same gimmick he has in WWE. Like, his vision of what he is. So, like, LA Knight, he deserves everything that he's working towards. So here's the thing. When I said that if John Cena doesn't pass the torch to Cody Rhodes, so he says whoever he thinks deserves to have that torch. Imagine he doesn't pass it to Cody. Imagine he passes that torch to LA Knight.
That'd be cool.
Because LA Knight is he's won a world title in a different company by a different name, which that doesn't count because he's not in that company anymore. Which actually maybe it does count, because now TNA and WWE NXT are having a deal where people can come from TNA to WWE. So that's actually, so it does count. So like, but either way, his name is not Eli Drake. His name is LA Knight from WWE. But like, from my memories of LA Knight as a TNA superstar is always going to be remembered as that. But like, it would be nice if John passes the torch to LA Knight, because like, you know, LA got screwed by the Bloodline, but like, you can never hate the Bloodline. The Bloodline story is so epic.
It is. I do want to say congrats to LA Knight on winning the United States Championship back. I was so happy that he got it back from Shinsuke Nakamura, because literally I was shocked that Shinsuke tried cheating so many times, and then when LA Knight won, I was really happy. Congrats, LA Knight, on winning the United States Championship back. I'm so happy for him. And literally, this sports interview with Randy was really great, and I'm going to thank him in a few minutes. But also, with LA Knight, he deserved to get it back. He worked super hard to get it back. And literally, congrats, LA Knight. Yeah. I do want to say thank you for doing the sports interview about WWE, baseball, the injuries, and everything.
If you don't know by now, eat.
Yep. And I do want to say thank you for doing it.
You're welcome. If you don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification, yeet.